WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. This is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones. I want to thank you for joining us today. From around the world, we invite you to watch Talk Beat Jones. We're out of the beautiful, wonderful city of Detroit, Michigan. And, of course, we're going out over all the medias, Amazon, Apple, streaming live, Facebook. Oh, by the way, cable. Channel 91. I forgot about that, Tim. And family, we say to you, if there's things on your mind, things that needs to be said, you're able to call us and talk on the Talk Beat Jones. And we may have my partner here today. We're not sure, but we're looking forward to having Miss Michelle Broughton as we move along on the Talk Beat Jones. I see I have a call ready, so I'm going to see if I can get them in and get them locked in. Caller, are you live yet?
Hey, Billy, Mark.
Okay, Mark, hold on, okay? Hey. Thank you very much. Hold on, I'll get you in shortly, okay? I just want to lock you in. So, right. Okay, so family, there's a whole lot of things going on, and let me do this real quickly. One thing is kind of in my chest. We have a lot of folks on the radio, TV, or radio programs primarily that I'm listening to. And we have a situation here in Detroit where there was a family of three, a man, a woman, and a child, 5 years of age, was found shot dead. And I'm listening to different folks here, black folks, and what they seem to be wanting to do is put an indictment on the black community as though the black community is responsible each time there is a horrendous murder or a situation that's committed by a black person. There is this situation where they want to indict the black community, the black uprising of children, etc. And I want to say to the people around the world who may be listening to those shows, please, do not take that to heart. Do not take that as an indictment in terms of how black folks operate. It is not. There are folks who like to speak and say these various things. They have this microphone and they're able to talk and to get controversy going, but it just seems that they want to always say things that are derogatory towards black folks, and these are black people. So I just want to say to them, if you have a problem with my statement, you know my number on the air, call and let's talk, because you'll find out why Dr. Talk can talk about most anything that's on your mind, things that you may say, that's your opinion. And if you want mine, you can call me and we can talk on the air and make it smooth, make it easy, make it educational, make it informative for the people around the world on the Talk Beat Jones. Again, I am Billy E. Jones, and so I have a person that's here early, so I'm going to go ahead to the telephone lines and find out where we are with my caller on the line. So, caller, you're live. Talk to me. I am Billy E. Jones, and we're in Detroit, Michigan, and we're going around the world. And we invite you to tell your friends. Remember, each Wednesday live, we're here coming to you from 10 o'clock a.m., from 10 a.m. to 11, and also a broadcast on Sunday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. So call your friends and let them know they too can watch the Talk Beat Jones. And if they missed us live today, that's a Wednesday, they're able to pick us up on a Sunday from 8 to 9 p.m. So caller, bring yourself on in and let's talk on the Talk Beat Jones. Find out what's on your mind, and family, we invite you to call the Talk Beat Jones. So caller, you're live.
So Billy, this is Mark Hollis.
Hey, Mark Hollis. Hollis, my
And I have a wonderful connection that we all go way back. I don't know if you remember Lee Lacy.
Oh, come on now.
Leonda's Mr. Dodger himself.
Well, let's go. You asked that question, but let's remember now, we go back to junior high school, college, etc. You know, so let us understand. I know exactly who we are talking about, but before we bring Lee on, I want to do this. The greatest baseball player of our class, who went on to make wonderful, great fame in the professional baseball league, is Mr. Leonidas Lacy. Of course, I didn't even know his name was Leonidas, remember? We always call him Lee Lacy. So bring him on, Mr. Mark Hollis. And Mark.
He's right. He's listening.
Oh, he's listening? Hey, my brother, Mr. Leonidas Lacy. How are you doing, bro?
Hey, Bill. How you doing, man? You guys always call me Leonidas, man. I was always recognized as Leonidas.
Oh, right. I got it back.
As a kid in Oakland and the projects like that, it was no league.
I got it.
When I first came to the major leagues in 1972, when I was Dodger Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
They came to me, the announcer, and he said, your name is Leonidas. It is on Hillerich and Bradstreet with your baseball contract, your back contract.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to start calling you Lee.
Okay. I got it backwards.
To show you how much respect I have for my family. At that time, I said, you know what? I have to go inside and I have to call my mom and make sure it's okay for you guys to call me Lee, because everyone always called me Leonidas.
That's right.
So I was always called Leonidas.
I got it backwards. Well, remember now, we're talking about way back in the 60s, and I forgot that part. I got it backwards. Twisted, my brother, but I just know one thing.
67 is my graduate from high school. I graduated from high school
We all did.
1967. I was class president in 1967. And I don't think any of you guys knew my background as a baseball player, but I started playing baseball at DeFarmy Park in 1957. I was 9 years old in 1957. I'll never forget it.
Okay.
And I tried out for the team there at DeFarmy, a T-shirt league, and they informed me that you had to be 10 years old to play.
Okay.
So I remember going home that day because my mom, she cleaned houses during the day.
Right.
I remember going home that day. When my mom got home from work, I was bawling. I was crying. And she said, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Mom, I'm too young. I have to be 10 years old to play in the T-shirt league at DeFarmy Park." So she took off work the next day, and she took me back up there. And the guy who was running the program, his name was Mr. Jones.
Of course, Mr. Jones. Short.
Set up an appointment with my mom, and my mom took me back in there, and she said, "My son is not 9 years old; he's 10." So he is. He said, "Well, he can play on the team." And that's a true story, man. That's how I got involved in a T-shirt league there at DeFarmy Park.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you just a minute, Lee. Leah, just let me stop you just a moment, because you mentioned Mr. Jones. You know, DeFarmy Park.
Mr. Jones.
Yes. I just want to give a shout out and a special love message to the family and the friends and all of the people who came up under Mr. Jones at DeFarmy Park. Great man. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Jones was a great leader. Not only was he a great man and was a family man, and he was a great leader. Right now, I'm looking at a picture of me in 1957. I have members of the Oakland City Councilman there, and we have several other politicians that's there at DeFarmy Park. And I'm down on one knee when I'm 9 years old, and I'm receiving a trophy for the most valuable player that year, and I was 9 years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
My mom bumped my age up so that I can play, because I love to play ball. We was living in Harbor Homes. You guys probably don't remember Harbor Homes.
Yeah, we remember Harbor Homes.
Harbor Homes, one way in, one way out.
See, folks right
One
here.
way in and one way out, unless you took the railroad tracks.
And folks, I want you to hear this because, again, I'm in Detroit, Michigan. And, Mark, where are you?
I'm in Southern California, Temecula.
And Leandris Lacy, where are you?
I'm in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay, and family. And so we are putting this connection together. We're going to be doing more of this because I'm going to tell you, I have some wonderful, great friends. And I just know that this young man here, you know how we played the softball at gym class?
Yeah.
I used to wonder, how was it that Leandris was always able to hit them home runs? I'm trying to get a single, and he's hitting home runs.
Actually, I had a guy by the name of George Poe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, George Poe
I remember George Poe.
Yeah.
Who's from McClymonds High School.
Mm-hmm.
He graduated from McClymonds High School. He lost his life prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Robinson, who just passed away, he's also from McClymonds High School.
Let's stop for Leandris. Let's stop for a moment. Let the world understand. We're talking about McClymonds High School, and this is Black History Month. And Mark, would you give them the Black History real quick about Frank Robinson and what's the other guy's name?
Well, I didn't want to stop Lee on his role, but you got to reference when he mentioned DeFermi Park. DeFermi Park is the place where we all went for sports.
Sanctuary. It was a sanctuary.
And you got to look at the legacy of DeFermi Park, from Frank Robinson, Bill Russell playing basketball.
Wait, stop now. I got to stop you. Wait, babies.
Club.
Wait, Mark. So y'all going too fast because these are names that are familiar to you. But remember, we're going around the world. We're educating people who don't know nothing about these names per se. We're going all around the world, folks. So we want to let you. I'm stopping because Frank Robinson.
Baseball, they got to know Frank Robinson.
They don't.
Frank Robinson is a Hall of Famer.
That's what I'm saying. You got to put it out that Frank Robinson not only is a Hall of Famer, but was Frank Robinson the first baseball player? Was it the first black manager?
Yeah, Frank Robinson was the first African American manager, and he is a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came to the major leagues in 1972 with the Dodgers, he was a Dodger right fielder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, my brothers, is that, see, you and I, we know exactly the background of these folks, but remember, this is virgin talk. So we have to, when we name these folks, please let them know how great they were and the titles that they went on to be acclaimed with, okay? So Frank Robinson
Frank Robinson is in the 500 club, who hit over 500 home runs, which is a very distinguished award that you receive.
Mm-hmm.
It's the pinnacle of the entry into Hall of Fame, and he reached that with the Baltimore Orioles.
Right.
But he also played for the Cincinnati Reds.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank Robinson is the only player to win Most Valuable Player awards in both American League and National League.
Okay.
Right.
And he was the first manager to manage in a major league. And Dusty Baker looks like he's going to be the first manager to go into the Hall of Fame, the first black manager to go in the Hall of Fame as a manager.
Now,
Frank was the first manager, but looked like Frank went in as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty is going to go into the Hall of Fame, who's a personal friend of mine, as a manager. He's now currently managing the Houston Astros.
Right.
And he's a guy that we communicate all the time. He and I play together, and we talk, and he's a resident of Granite Bay, which is near Sacramento.
Yeah, but you mentioned one other name, Bill Russell. I'm just throwing this out because, again, because I know we talked basketball at that point, but Bill Russell, we're talking about our high school, folks. The smallest high school in the city of Oakland, California, produced the greatest basketball player in the world that ever played, and he is the GOAT. All you got to do is hold up his fingers and see all those rings. Mr. Bill Russell, folks. That name comes from McClymonds High School. Go right ahead, Leon. Let's talk about
yeah.
baseball.
Bill Russell is what you consider a legend.
Okay.
Right.
He is the greatest player of all time based on his accomplishments, not on his color, but on his accomplishments on the court.
Right.
He has 12 rings, and he is from a little small school in West Oakland called McClymonds High School.
The school that we are graduates
he
of.
recognizes that. He's very proud to be from that area because he and I are friends, and we've communicated in the past. We've crossed each other's paths, and he is so proud to be from that community, and he told me personally.
That's right.
I think people need to realize that Oakland, that West Oakland in particular, most of the people that we're talking about kind of migrated from down south. A lot of families from Louisiana, Texas, whatever. So during the war, everybody migrated west and settled into West Oakland. West Oakland comprised, like Lee said, Harbor Homes, but there were a lot of projects, Campbell Village,
yes,
10th Street Village, and a whole bit. So a lot of the athletes we're talking about, from Willie Stargell being in Alameda, coming over to play.
Thanks for mentioning Willie Stargell. He's a personal friend of mine, man. I'm sitting in my trophy room now, and not to interrupt you, but I have to bring this up.
Leon Lacey, go right ahead.
I'm in my trophy room now, and it's a huge picture of Willie Stargell on my wall. And now I'm looking at something personal that he wrote to me when I was a Pirate. He says, "It's sure good to see you happy in the clubhouse and on the field, and you are a very special player. And I like the way you play baseball." And he has his arm around me, and there's Willie Stargell and I. But I had to interrupt you and say that because
No.
Fellas, here's what I need.
Stargell is a Hall of Famer, and we played together.
Okay,
for the 6
fellas.
years that I spent in
what I need to do, stop, fellas. Just hold on, fellas, hold on just for a moment, so that we keep it clear for those folks who are listening. We'll be able to distinguish who's speaking. What I need for you to do is say, "I'm Mark" or "I'm Leondis," so they'll know the voice that they're listening to, please. Go right ahead, fellas.
Okay.
Well, let me. This is Mark. I'm going to throw out another name. I'm going to throw out another name for Lee. How about Curt Flood?
Curt Flood. I'm looking at a picture of Curt Flood. He was the commissioner of the senior league. And Curt Flood was a personal friend of mine. He would come to my house and visit me. My name is Lee Lacey, former Dodger Pirate, Baltimore Orioles, 4 World Series, world champions in 1979 with the Pirates. Curt Flood was a personal friend of mine. Curt Flood challenged the free agency when he was traded from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Washington Nationals.
That's why all these guys making all that money, Leondis.
What it is today. He also was the commissioner of the senior league, which is a league for retired players.
Since we're doing this,
Flood should be in the Hall of Fame.
What about Vader Pinson?
Oh yeah,
Vader Pinson was a great player. He also played with the Cincinnati Reds, and all these players are connected with the Cincinnati Reds is because a guy by the name of George Odes, who was a scout with the Cincinnati Reds.
That's right.
And his second home was at a place called, it was in West Oakland, and it was a park called Raimondi Park.
Raimondi Park.
Raimondi Park is where we played. We didn't have a baseball field at McClymonds High School, but we all played at Raimondi Park. Now, George Odes was a scout, and he lived there. So he's seen Frank, Vader Pinson, Curt Flood, another guy by the name of Willie Padfield. A lot of people don't know about him, but he was a great player. A lot of guys don't know about the Beeman family. Beeman
wait, let me stop you. Wait. The Beemans were the brothers. The Beeman brothers was like, you mentioned the Beeman brothers. Oh, you just knew that was going to be a dominant team if they played together, basketball or baseball.
Absolutely correct.
It reminded, what about Joe Morgan? Joe Morgan, he was at Calcimont,
So
No,
now,
Morgan came out of
so now, fellas, here's what's happening. This program, of course, will be seen and viewed by our friends back in Oakland, California. Maybe watching us as we speak right now. And of course, let me do this real quick in case my sister Doris Ann is watching. I want to say hello, my sister. How you? That's my baby sister. Go right here, fellas. We got about 3 minutes before I got to go to a commercial break, and I'm going to have to do something different. But I want to do this. We're establishing the communication, the vessel that we're going to be able to get the views, the thoughts, the facts from my brothers, my friends like you guys. Every Wednesday, there'll be different ones. We talked about potentially having Nate. Mark, you know.
Yeah,
Nate.
well, I'll call you back. Yeah, Nate. I talked to Nate at Link yesterday. He sent us
Nate
love.
Williams, San Francisco Warriors, etc. Yes. So I just want people to understand that we come from the smallest school in Oakland, California, yet we have the greatest athletes. And Mark, you went on to do some wonderful, great things. And, you know, I'll be humble because it was not, but we're talking about just going on and on and on. But we can't do that because I got to go into some other things. But fellas, Mark, would you, before I have to let you guys go, would you tell folks some of the things that you've done as well, and we'll come back? And Leanders, do you think that we can get you back again at some time? And, and before you go, say something to your friends in Oakland, California.
Continue to walk by faith, not by sight. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Keep the faith.
Right.
That is
right.
One,
and
that
you know,
is
one other thing. Hey, Billy. One
yes,
other
sir.
thing about Lee people don't realize is that as great a baseball player as he was, and the greatest human being he was a champion dozens player. He will talk about you like.
Oh, I know.
Lee can play the dozens like nobody. I tell you.
Well, let me do this before we not go.
I'll tell you one thing that I've been able to do. I've been able to stay focused. Yeah. I've been able to raise a family. I have a daughter who played in the WNBA for 16 years.
Wow.
I have a great mom who raised 6 kids there in the project, and she went on and worked at Children's Hospital right there on Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And she ran the laboratory there, and she got what you call an apprenticeship.
Yes.
Nowadays, you would need a college education to do what my mom did. She was a great single mom. She worked jobs. My sister Bonnie graduated from San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. My family is still in the Bay Area.
Yes.
And my father, who passed away at 94,
wow,
left a great legacy.
Yes, yes.
Him and his brothers played in the Negro League in East Texas.
So did my dad.
And my family is a mainstay in the Bay Area, and I'm very proud to say I'm from the Bay.
Hey, one of the things Lee and I were talking about, Billy, yesterday that I think was so important I want to get across.
We got about 2 minutes, fellas.
Some sort of mentoring program. You know, there are a lot of great young minds out there that really need to be tapped into and guided, and that's something that I'd like in the future to talk about how we can give something back, to our community, specifically the black community. How we can encourage
this is
some
Lee
of these
Lacy
kids.
again.
Oh, I tell you what.
Kids need to be tech smart because that's where all the jobs are going to be in the future. Billy Jones, I hope you're preaching that on your show because it assumes that you have a great platform. You have a show there. I don't know what you're doing other than you have a voice, but I know that the education should be forwarded toward tech smart because that's
let's
where
do
all
this.
the jobs are going to be.
Hold on, let's do this. I see now we're ready to go into that real good area, that area that's talking about what we can do for our families, what we can do for our population, what we can do actually for the world. And we're talking things that I want to talk about now. So why don't we switch up and hold up as we get ready to go to a commercial break? And rather than leaving, why don't you guys just stay with me and talk about the things you spoke on, talking about next week or whatever. Let's do it today. Let's do it right now, because I spoke on the beginning about how these folks out here, some of the folks that I'm listening to on the radio, that's down beating the black families every time there is something that happens and there is a black person that's involved. It's an indictment. They want to beat down on the black family, the black institution, how we're raised, the things that's going on. You are speaking now to the family that's showing you truly family around the world, what black folks is really about, how we are brought up.
Is that Lee or Mark?
That's Billy talking.
That's me talking now. But I'll tell you what, stay on the phone. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back. And, fellas, let's switch over from the baseball to the things that you spoke on before we got ready to go to commercial break. Like Mark, let's speak it. Let's speak on it. Let's bring it up to Mark and Leondis. Let's go with what you're speaking on after this commercial break on the Talk Beat Jones. I am Billy E. Jones, family. Remember, we're on the air every Wednesday live from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., and there's another broadcast on a Sunday night from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. Remember, we're on all of the streaming modalities, Amazon, Roku, all of them. And, of course, the cable system, family, you can pick us up on cable channels at 91. Scratch that, not 91, it's cable channel 90. But, family, we will be right back after these commercial announcements. Stay with us. I've got Mr. Mark Hollis and Mr. Leondis Lacey. These are my high school brothers, junior high school brothers. Hey, who showed you? McClimas High School, we ain't no joke. And they got, we'll talk about it when we come back. We got me mumbling now, brothers. Be back shortly, folks. Go anywhere, because this is the Talk Beat Jones.
We at Watkins Broadcasting care about the health and safety of our viewers and listeners. During this novel coronavirus pandemic, please protect yourself and others. Wash your hands well and often. Avoid touching your face. Cough and sneeze into your sleeve. Practice social distancing. Stay at least 6 feet away from others when in public, and only leave the house when it's essential. Stay safe. You are important to us.
The environment is so friendly. Always feel like home.
We have so much support from the staff. You meet people who are like you.
I always had a passion to help others, so this is the perfect place for me.
Yana Afrit to reach out. Flora Kiwang, Cameroon.
Maklit Shunga, Ethiopia.
Javed Khan, Bangladesh.
Dennis Kerr, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
They give you what you need for the future.
Hi, this is LaWanda.
This is RJ Watkins.
Coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you. Because healthy is the new beautiful. An all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. Need to get yours today. Call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Matter. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. Family, this is the Talk Beat Jones again. I am Billy E. Jones, and a wonderful, wonderful time today. Great guest, great viewing audience. This is what the world has been waiting for. We truly do it like nobody else can do it. I've got the great facilitator from Oakland. And when I say from Oakland, that's where we touch bases in high school. They're not from Oakland now. They're other places. But I'm going to start off again with you, Mark. And Mark Hollis, would you tell us a little bit about you? And then you're going to go into what you were speaking on. And I want to end. Go ahead, please. But who are you, Mark Hollis?
Okay. I'm president and CEO of EMH Sports USA, Inc. We own a 501c3 that we're currently putting together. It's what they call a psychosocial sports program, where you teach kids that are deemed at risk transitional life skills through sports. So dealing with coping, rejection, all kind of stuff that they deal with, but helping them to problem solve it through sports.
Yes.
And then I'm also a sports editor. I write a column for a Midwest-based paper, the Traveler Weekly Monthly. And then I also sit on the board of directors for the San Francisco State University Hall of Fame, for the Football Hall of Fame. So, I've got enough irons in the fire to keep me busy.
And you are, and one of my, in fact, my former roommate back at Laney College, Mr. Dennis Pete, is now in the Hall of Fame in San Francisco State, I believe.
Yeah, talked to Dennis yesterday. You know, he's still in Atlanta.
Well,
so.
Mark, I can see that you have the ability to bring all of my great brothers and your great brothers and people onto the program as a facilitator. But talk about the program that you just mentioned before we went to the commercial break.
Well, one of the Lee and I, one of the things that we've been able to transition into is self-employment. You know, we've both been able to form some companies that Lee's company is skewed more for aviation. Mine is more of an educational service that we provide, but regardless, there's still some very basic business principles that exist in terms of starting a business and then also being and maintaining some sort of success, And so mentorship is real big. I've been mentoring over the last 15 years, and I know Lee and I had a huge conversation about that yesterday.
Okay.
Because, there's so many young minds that are out there that have an interest in accomplishing some things. Like for us growing up in West Oakland, we didn't know. You never knew you were going to be a talk show host. Lee knew that he was going to be a baseball player. My catalyst was wanting to play football, but we all transitioned into something beyond that.
Yes.
And that's where we had mentors, and I think at some point in time it's now time to pay it back, pay it forward, because there's so many young kids that were just like us, walking down Filbert or Myrtle or Adeline Street or whatever, trying to figure it out, but they just need that type of guidance, or in Detroit, where you are. There's kids that want to accomplish something, they just don't know how to get there.
That's right. Mr. Leondis Lacey.
Yes.
About the program you were speaking about, let's talk a little bit about it as well, sir.
Yeah. But Mark, you're aware of what's going on in the world. you're aware where not only Microsoft computers, all the other technical things that are out there.
Leandis, are you on a speakerphone, Leandis?
I think yes.
Okay, there you go. Now you're good.
I think it's very important to let all the young generation know out there that where the jobs are going to be in the future is going to be tech smart, and that's where we should be pushing our younger generation to get educated and tech smart.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
because that's where the jobs are going to be, and that's where the high-paying jobs are going to be.
Right. I just heard something about metaverse. I have no idea what metaverse is, but I will find out what that is.
Well, I hope that we can talk about it next week. Because what I'm doing is I'll break the Talk Beat Jones when it's called. You can't see it behind my head, but Talk Beat Jones is meaning that the idea of my program is I want to take things and put them in 10 to 15 minute segments and speak on them on a weekly basis, various different things that are shift. But I give persons a chance to, when I invite you in, to get about a 10 or 15 minute zone. My brothers, of course, I changed my thought, changed my style today because you are showing the world when I talk about the role that our families, in terms of how black folks are brought up and what we can be. This is family around the world. You're listening. This is truly what black folks can be, and this is truly because, again, the humble beginnings of these young men, of me as well, and where you can go and who you can be, and the type of upbringing that our parents, be them a single mother or happen to have a mother and father. All this stuff that's going on about how terrible black folks are and all the things, every time a young man commits a crime and it's all an indictment on black folks, please stop that stuff, y'all. That's what they're doing out here in Detroit, and I'm listening to it, and I want to let you know we have a voice as well, and I want to bring in the positivity because they say they throw out the problems, but they don't give us the answers. You're listening to brothers that's able to give you the answers of how to help our young folk. Go right ahead, either one of you, just talk.
Well, I would tap into the environment of influence that are in Detroit. You've got what individuals have more of an impact on these young kids in the community than athletes. For us, it was athletes. I mean, my dad, like Lee, played Negro League baseball, but we were surrounded by people like Dave Littleton,
Dave Littleton is the one that Dave Littleton is the one that told us that we could go to college.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Lee's. Earl Manyweather was it for me, and then I was befriended by a couple of guys, Clem Daniels and Art Powell especially.
You're throwing names that just keep on tickling my brain because Earl Manyweather was the great. Earl Manyweather High School, Earl Manyweather, Lou Jones, but when you go into Clem Daniels, who was the great running back for the Oakland Raiders, and always came back and trained at the field, at the football field of in
Art
school.
Powell.
Art Powell. They trained at our high school. Come back to show us what it was about. Right. Go right ahead, please.
Right. Now, Lee, in baseball, I think Coach Manyweather was the baseball coach, right?
Leandis?
Hey, pardon?
Leandis, he's asking
was Manyweather the baseball coach? No, it was a guy by the name. The guy that really helped me there at McComas High School was a guy by the name of Jack Drinkwater.
Jack Drinkwater, the white guy. The white coach.
Who I communicate. Okay, he's
What I'm saying is, we had great influences, not just black, because Jack Drinkwater was the baseball coach, but remember, he also became the basketball coach.
And you know what else?
Always the basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
And you know what?
Go right ahead, please.
One of the things people got to realize is that he was good friends with Thomas Sherry, and the Warriors used to practice at McClimon's High School.
Come on, y'all. I want people to know our history. Go right ahead. Please keep
Jack
talking.
Drinkwater, he's living in Nevada now. Every once in a while we communicate. He was a great influence on my life.
Yes.
He was the guy that it's good to be hands-on, but it's also good to get behind a guy's ears and let him know what he can do and what he can't do and what he shouldn't do.
Yes.
And those are so very important to know. What you can, what you should, and what you can. And he put a lot of emphasis on that, and he was able to tap into my mentality, and he was letting me know what I can do, what I should do, and what I can't do. And he helped me to stay out of the streets of Oakland, which at the time I was coming up, it was I lived in a projects there in Cypress Village once I left Harbor Homes.
Ooh, you was in that tough, dangerous area.
I came up in there in Cypress Village, and he made a point to let me know that if I wanted to go forward in this world, that I had to have a clean record, I had to be educated, and I had to be dedicated. He taught me what dedication was all about.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there was another guy.
Now, who's talking? Who's talking?
Didn't live in the Bay Area.
Who's talking?
He had a strong impact
Who's talking?
on me.
This is
Leandris Lacy.
Hello?
We needed to know who was talking. Leandris Lacy is talking. Go right ahead, sir.
By the name of Don Christensen. Now, Don Christensen was a baseball coach at Laney College.
Yes.
Now, every Monday field, Laney College baseball team was on one end of the field, and McClymonds High School was on the other. Now, this guy, Don Christensen, would come down to the high school field there, and he would scout the talent. And he was one of those guys who knew talent and knew how to communicate with guys, and he knew the fundamentals of the game of baseball. And he was a guy that taught me the importance of the mental part of the game and the mental part of life, because that's a fundamental side to everything, not only sports, to education, to religion, to behavior, to respect as a fundamental side. So he taught me that. He taught me how to respect people. He taught me how to play the fundamentals of the game, the fundamentals of life, how to respect your elders, how to respect the police, how to respect your parent, and how it would take you into the world to deal with not only minority people, but he taught me how to deal with the majority.
Okay, Leandris, let Mark speak on. Let Mark speak real quick.
My life really took off.
Okay, Leandris.
Lee, real quick.
Go ahead.
So what about there was another guy in Oakland by the name of Berkovich, who had an impact on a lot of players coming up that played baseball.
Before we go there, can I do this? Don Christensen, the one that Leandris just got through speaking of, Don Christensen also was the defensive back coach for Laney College. There's a guy named Norm.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Don Christensen.
I only know him from baseball.
Yeah, Don Christensen was my football was my position coach at Laney College. Also, there is a guy named Norm Thompson, who was the number one. Yeah, Norm Thompson was the number one draft choice for the. Was number one draft choice for the St. Louis Cardinals. He is responsible for all of these football players making all that money because he too was did the same thing as Vader Pinson. So we got another guy who is responsible for those people, for all these athletes making all this money in the football thing, because Norm Thompson refused to trade, and they had to go into whatever it is became with this free agency. He fought for his free agency. You have another guy that's from the Oak from Bishop from the Bay Area that is responsible for the basketball people having all this free agency, because he too was the person that forced free agency. Guess what? All from our little town. But go ahead and speak on what you were doing.
What? Let me throw. This is Mark. Let me throw something out too. Is that in terms of influence, and I think what's bottlenecking here is the impact that coaches, people in general had on us growing up.
Yes.
You know, Educationally, you know, somebody that sparked me also was Mr. Madison, D. Madison.
Oh,
you know,
no.
Mr. Madison provided me with an opportunity to work away from campus during my school hours, you know, and taught me he got me into some business opportunities working for certain companies, which is really cool, you know. So
D. Madison,
carry a lot of that stuff over, man.
D. Madison was my teacher from elementary school, Hoover Junior High School, and McClymonds High School. Started with him in Clawson High School, Clawson Elementary School. Go right ahead, fellas.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the whole point
I just want to bring up some names that we kind of ignored. A guy by the name of Mr. Jones and Mr. Tab Scott.
Oh, wait. Now, the great Tab Scott, I want to be a part of his team, his coaching so bad. I went out for the basketball team after football, didn't make the basketball team. So I said, look, can I just be your statistician person? Yes. And I learned from him that way. Go ahead, man. We're talking some great folks, family.
Little influences like that, man. Impact, and not realizing helps to mold us as to where we are right now.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Two guys. I also want to pay homage to. I mentioned Art Powell, you know, because Art kind of guided me into
football player.
Moving more into going to college. And Earl Robinson, I think Lee knows Earl Robinson.
Hold up. I have to stop you again. The great Earl Robinson. When we were at Laney College.
You know what, I have to mention this here too.
When we were at Laney College, who was the greatest person that all of us black athletes were going and talking with and being influenced by? When he walked by, he was like a god. You're talking about it, and he dressed. Yeah. And let me do this real family. When I was doing my Talk Beat Jones Night Talk Jones program, the person that I had a picture behind me, and he would do like what you guys are doing now. He was like a co-host on my show way back then. Wow. How about that, folks? Go right ahead.
Yeah. I see one guy. This is Lee Lacey. This guy here was the principal at McClymonds High School when I first came there. In 1964, his name was Mr. Hargrove.
Ben Hargrove, yes.
Mr. Hargrove had a furlough program that he orchestrated through the United Postal Service there in '64.
That's true.
And it was predicated. It was predicated on whether or not you kept your grade above a C average. And I was one of the first to get involved in that program, and I started working for the post office there in 1964, and I worked there all the way through my high school, and he taught me how to be disciplined when it comes down to mixing with various ethnic groups.
Yes.
Because coming up in the Bay Area, there wasn't a lot of white people that I was associated with. Once I became employed with the Postal Service, I learned how to communicate with all different types of races. Right. And I think that has taken me further in life than anything. Because from there, it proceeded on to my baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I started playing baseball, I played with all different types of ethnic groups, and I was able to relate to them as well.
How many years did you play baseball?
I was rated as one of the top players in the state of California.
That's right.
And I was the second-round draft choice of the Dodgers, and I went on and played 16 years in the major league. I played in 4 World Series, 3 with the Dodgers, 1 World Series with the Pirates, which we won, and I also was Rookie of the Year in 1972 for the L.A. Dodgers through the organization. Not nationwide, but through the organization. So I went on and I won the Roberto Clemente Award. I'm inducted in the Black Sports Hall of Fame. I'm inducted in the Babe Ruth Hall of Fame. I have the Senate on my wall here where I was inducted in the Senate. I have the city of Los Angeles, the state of California that I'm recognized as. And I'm also recognized as a inductee, like I stated, inducted into the Black Sports Hall of Fame. It all has to do with me being able to relate to all different types of people.
Exactly.
And I think that's a strength. I think that's a strength in a community to be able to do that, because what it does when you're able to relate to all different ethnic groups, it breaks down all the barriers.
Let me do.
It helps you to go further.
Hey, fellas, let me do this. Let me do this because on the TV time, my time is running down. I see I got a couple of people trying to get in, but what I need to do is let you guys say your closeouts. And Mark, we will talk again, of course, and we'll see. Of course, we can do a regular thing because, again, I need to have about a 10, 15-minute segment with you again next week.
You got to get Lee back. You got to get Lee back on this.
What? Hey, listen.
I think some of the there's so many things there's so many things we can tap into. You know.
I'm here every week.
That could really benefit the community.
Well,
so
here's the thing.
I'm with you.
See, here's the thing. I'm here every week. I'm here every week. The Talk B. Jones, we've been on the air ever since, been doing TV out here in Detroit since 2006, 2007, folks. This is 2022. So now we're able to reach back to my homegrown folks and show you what talk television is really, truly about. Can be.
Right.
So, folks, I got to, but I got to, wait, I got to let you guys go. I got to let you go, guys go.
Can I reference something can I reference something in 30 seconds, Billy?
Go ahead.
Can I say something in 30 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I think this is applicable to growing up in Detroit. People have to realize that we grew up in an environment very similar to them.
Yes.
I don't know, but I think I can say this and get away with it, but when we grew up in West Oakland, we didn't take a shower. Everybody took a bath. I didn't take my first shower until I got to junior high school. Now, I can still see Mr. Griffin right there. You know.
I remember Mr. Griffin too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my point is that growing up in the projects, I grew up over cleaners, single parent, whatever. There's still opportunity to move forward through mentorship and whatever, and find your way in life. You know,
right.
You're not. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't feel restricted.
Okay, got it.
All you have to do is ask the question.
All right, fellas. I got to let you go because, again, I want to tap and see if I can get some these other two callers in before I go. But listen, Mark, Leondis, this is the first time, but great, definitely won't be the last time again, and we're going to bring more and more folks on the Talk B. Jones family. I want you to understand. I wanted you to see what black folks really is about. Thank you, guys, and we'll talk to you again again next week or so, okay? All right. Take care.
Thank you, Billy. Love you, brother.
Love you guys. Thank you. Just like whenever.
Thank you.
Bye now. Okay, I'm not sure if I can get anybody else on, but let's see. Caller, are you live? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Caller, you live? Okay, I'll go to the next one, see if I can get this one in. Caller, you live. Can you come in? Caller, you live? You live? You live. Okay. You see, family, that's why I didn't want to try to bring the folks in, because was not sure if the telephone lines were going to roll over the way I wanted them to do, and I didn't want to have any interruptions. But I want to tell you, you hear the conversations about how negative black folks can be portrayed. I want you to understand that that's not the real world with black folks. You can't just have something happen and people jump on the microphone and start indicting the black race. Can't do that. I can't say you can't do that because they're doing it. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try this line. Caller, you're live. Caller, you're live. I need you to talk. You live. Caller. Mm-hmm. Caller, Tim, you live. This one, the top button is what I'm hitting. Mm-hmm. Caller, you're live. If you don't talk, I'm going to move on. It's the caller. Caller, you're live.
I'm speaking.
Okay, well, let's talk real quick. I don't have much time. I need you to speak up. Please talk. I have about 2 minutes.
Leo Brazil, just love listening to you guys, but that's all young stuff. We talk about Oakland in the 50s when you
no, we're not going back like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want to talk politics. Is it's not we're not strictly here to talk about Oakland. I want to go into politics with you, and we'll do that next week. If you're, I know you'll be available, and I'll be with you. I appreciate and love you, Leo Brazil, because remember, you're the one that picked up and you've helped carry this load in terms of trying to get the folks to see that we have this other connection outside of Detroit, and we're reaching across states to bring in this conversation. Wonderful conversation, great conversation. And to my fans and friends in Oakland, the Bay Area, we love you. We appreciate you. Leo, you want to say something before you go to your friends and fans in Oakland, California, please, or the Bay Area?
No, just enjoying this beautiful day, man. It's unusual. We have pink skies out here.
All right. Okay.
At Sunsetville. It's beautiful.
Okay. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate it. Bye now. Family, once again, this has been the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy Jones, and it's been really, really wonderful to talk with you and give you an idea, again, into how great black folks truly are and the accomplishments and the things that we can do. It's not a process where somebody can tell you, and I'm talking to other folks who may be listening and wondering about all the conversations going on about how downtrodden or how black folks need and not doing certain various different things. Every family is different. It's different. And just because you are great parents, will that mean that your child is not going to do something stupid? Does that mean that your child is not going to do something horrendous? No, it doesn't. But you can't just continue to say, this is us. When I have people who speak about the situation with black folks, and they'll say other folks don't do this. It don't happen in the other communities. And they don't even know what's going on 5 blocks from where they are. And they've never been in those other communities, and they don't read or listen to those families and their problems that they're having in their communities. So people, I'm here to say to you, we as black people, yes, we have some problems. Yes, we have problems. But again, you have problems in your communities as well. So don't listen to people talking about how great or how bad things are for just single mothers, because single mothers have raised some great sons. I know it's hard, but we have some single mothers who have raised some great sons and families. Time to go. I am Billy E. Jones, and to my family and to my father and the rest of my family, I say I love you, I respect you, and we'll see you back on the Talk Beat Jones. Be great. You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.